Hi, everybody. It's Alex here with Technology Executives Club, and I'm really happy to introduce you to my new good friend, Loren Williams, who's the Enterprise Partnership Manager for a really cool nonprofit organization called PCs for People. Hi, Loren. How are you?
Great. How are you, Alex? Thanks for having me today.
I'm thrilled to have you and help spread the word, and I really appreciate what you're doing and what PCs for People is actually doing to a lot of people who need access to this equipment, which we'll get into in a second. But thank you for taking your time to do that, actually for your job and all the people that work at PCs for People. So let's get into it. So tell us about PCs for People. What is it you do and who do you help?
Sure, Alex. PCs for People solves a couple of problems that exist out there. One problem is that millions of pounds of old computers and electronics go into landfills.
Yeah.
The other problem is 40% of low-income households lack access to a computer or internet service. So what PCs for People does is intercepts as many of those computers as possible from landfills and refurbishes as many as possible for low-income households.
First of all, it's a great cause. So you're have at the end of the day, what you're really doing is getting these PCs into low income households, right? That's what we're
Yes,
doing. So they
yes,
can be equalized in terms of their advantages and they have the ability to move forward. I think
yes.
that's a wonderful cause and we support that. Great. For my audience, a lot of the people are the CIOs, technology leaders, and I know just from talking to them, a lot of these folks are consistently getting rid of their equipment. And so you're saying there's a better way that they don't have to ship it off to landfill?
Yeah, absolutely. By partnering with PCs for People, we make that whole disposal process really easy and
Oh,
no cost and really secure. People think about data risk when you're using a computer, but
yeah.
sometimes forget about that data risk once you've decommissioned a computer and there's still data on the hard drive. Our
Oh,
process is certified by the National Association of Information Destruction, or NADE for short. And that means we send in our own drivers with our own trucks. They are background checked and they have a process for moving the equipment, for bringing it back to any of our 11 tech centers. We have a defined process to have it under camera footage, to save that camera footage for 90 days. And then, only then, do we do the actual bits and bytes of data destruction to HIPAA standard, to Department of Defense standard, and just about any other standard out there. So IT managers can really sleep well at night when their equipment is coming to PCs for People.
so if I'm this PC manager or I'm the CIO and or the person that reports to the CIO and you got all this equipment you got to get rid of, typically they're paying people to process cleaning out these machines as part of the disposal, and then they're throwing them out into the bins, so to speak. And so what you're saying is one of the key values that you're providing to these folks is you'll do the cleanup for them.
We do it, it's at no charge, it's certified, and they can get a certified data sanitization report at the end listing every asset, every data bearing asset, and certification that the data was deleted.
That's awesome. Now, let's see the icing of the cake also. So they do the right thing, they get it out of the landfills, you clean it up, they save funds that way. Did they get some kind of write-off for this?
I
Okay.
can't give tax advice, but we can give a nonprofit receipt. We are a nonprofit. We can give a donation receipt upon request.
That sounds like an incredible service to the folks that I work with. And so before we go, share a story or two or how you've been able to help people actually who received the PCs. Because I think we all, at the end of the day, that's really our main motivation for doing this.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
share that story. Share one of
That,
those
that
stories for us.
that's why I get up every day.
Yeah.
So we met a young woman, a high school junior named Nia, very smart young lady. She had one of these like third hand computers, like would freeze up all the time. It would boot up, but it would crash all the time. And
Yeah.
she had really, really spotty internet, and she found herself at night sometimes on the steps of the library to try to pick up internet and finish her homework at night, really
Oh,
motivated. But
yeah.
while a lot of her classmates were starting to look at colleges and planning for college, it just wasn't looking like it was in the cards for her. She found out about PCs for People. She got a newly refurbished laptop and internet hotspot that we also provide at low
Wow.
cost.
Wow.
And then I learned recently she finished her junior year, went through her senior year, and she was able to apply to and get accepted for college. And
That-
I will not take all the credit. PCs for People didn't make her get into college, but we gave her a necessary tool that you really need for that whole process and to go to college these days.
That is really a great story, and I'm sure there's lots of Nia. So, con congrats to Nia, first of all, for getting into college
Yeah.
and doing the hard work. And what a wonderful story to end with. I'm sure you got many of those successes for PCs for People came through, not only for the corporations that are disposing the equipment, but also for the end user who eventually is going to reuse it. And I love that story. So to get a hold of you, Loren, you're connected with me. It's Loren
Yes.
Williams at PCs for People. You can search for him if you're watching this on LinkedIn or wherever, or just reach out to me or just reach out to Loren directly at PCs for People. You can find it. They're a reputable organization. Again, great to hear your stories and how the folks that are in our audience can help young people like Nia get ahead and also get some potential tax benefits, but for sure be able to dispose of this equipment without moving it into the landfills. We appreciate you taking the time to do so.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for hosting me today.
Great to have you and great to help spread the word.